Just a quick video on the turbo electrovalve. I've just pulled this off a 2012 Peugeot 508 DW10C TED4 2-litre turbo diesel, and I've had a engine fault error pop up when the car's under load, and a bit of online research suggested it might be this guy, so I pulled this off the car, and I'll link you the YouTube video that I followed. It was a little bit hard to find a reference, but it was a really good guide, so thanks to the gentleman who put that video together. I don't have a replacement one of these. I'm sure you can buy one, but I thought, well, hey, let's see if we can clean it. So I pulled it off, and it's in pieces at the moment, but I did break that little tab pulling it apart. However, you may be able to open it up without doing that, and then the end just pops off. Now the bits and pieces aren't in there at the moment. I have removed them. You can see it is nice and clean in there, but it wasn't clean. I'll show you what was in there. Here's the Diag box diagnostic output from when I scanned my car. You can see it was under quite a bit of load there, but came up with a P11AA fault. Here's a clip from someone else on YouTube, and you can hear it sounds like a blow-off valve when you let off the gas. So these are the parts that were in there, and you've got this little filter basket, which, as you can see, now I've already given this a bit of a blast with compressed air, but I will give it more of a clean. But that was completely blocked with carbon when I came here. So the filter basket sits inside here, and I tried blowing with my mouth through that port there, and I actually couldn't move any air through there with the filter basket in. It's obviously it's nice and clean and clear now, and with the filter basket back in, I can now blow some air through it. So I think that had blocked up with carbon, and that had given the error that I put in the title of this video. I don't know if it's fixed it yet. I will try and reassemble this. Hopefully I can reassemble it. I think I can. The rest of it's all quite clean. It's quite clean, and the rubber is in good condition there. It's just that filter basket was completely blocked. So I will reassemble this. Just make note when you pull it apart of how you pulled it apart, so hopefully you can get it back together. So hopefully I can get it back together. I'll put it on the car, and we'll report back in time and let you know if that has fixed the error that I'm getting under load, because certainly when you're trying to pull away from the lights and then you're full throttle, or you're overtaking. I had this, you're overtaking, full throttle, and then suddenly the car decides to go into a engine fault mode and you lose all power. That's not ideal. So something as simple like this on the vacuum line, we'll give it a crack. So I've got the solenoid back together now, and you can see where it's got the broken clip, but it did clip together quite well, and that's in solid, so I'm not worried about that. And then out of curiosity, I pulled that grey tab off the end, and it was brittle and broke, but under there is a tiny maybe 4 or 5 millimeter hex screw, I suppose, that looks to be to adjust the solenoid. I did wind it a bit and then blew some pressure through this N1 here, and then wound it back to where it was, because it did feel a little bit restricted whether it was blocked or not. So that's back together, and I think I'm going to run with that for a bit. I may get a new one, but we'll see how that goes for now. And come to think of it, if this one was blocked up with carbon, I may need to look at the other two, really, because they're all on the same circuit. So chances are the rest of them are blocked up as well. Anyway, it's located in the back here of the engine. I've got the top plastic cover off, and I've just pulled that wire clip off to get a bit of easier access. And somewhere in here, I hope I can find it, you've got the electrical connector and that just pops off. Put a tiny flat blade jeweler's screwdriver in the top, that'll pop off and then slide down. And there are 3 hoses down here as well that you basically blindly need to try and pull off the solenoid. If you pull it up enough, you can get a tiny screwdriver in there to help disconnect those as well. And I should mention as well, there is a bolt here with a 10mm nut on it. You do need to take the nut off and then you can pull the solenoid out. There's supposed to be a nut on the bottom, and to be fair, I can feel that bolt on the bottom. Let's see if you can get it in there. So the difficult, so you got a bottom bolt here, and that didn't have a nut on it. So I almost wonder if someone else has been at that before, or if the nut's just fallen off. But nuts generally don't fall off if they're not from the factory. So I reckon someone else has had a go at this before. Who knows? Maybe it's a serviceable part. I've got just shy of 180,000 kilometers on the car. I wouldn't have thought it'd be replaced more than once. So I'm going to put that all together now and do up the top bolt, and we'll give it a try shortly. I've got the solenoid back on the car now, all back together. Don't be fooled, it's not a difficult job, but it's not a fun job at all. You are going to saw back as you're trying to reach over the back of the engine here. Quite difficult. I'm going to put the top cover on there now and then take it for a run. Something I might mention with regards to the vacuum circuit is take your engine cover off. You've got this little plastic box here. If you undo that bolt, that lifts off, and it's actually got a sponge type material in there as an air filter for the vacuum system, and that pipe there connects to the vacuum circuit. Take that off and you'll find that certainly after 180,000 kilometers, that sponge material is completely broken down and will actually get sucked into the vacuum circuit. And I suspect some of that carbon wasn't actually carbon, but might have actually been the broken down sponge that it sucked through. I just replaced that with a bit of other kind of gauze type material. Probably did that about 30,000 k ago with no issue. So I just thought I'd mention that. That's a real quick one to check. And as well, your vacuum circuit, something I've had on this car, as you can see here, that actually snapped off. And when that happened, the car felt like it was being choked. That's the high pressure fuel pump, and yeah, it's using the vacuum line to open that fuel circuit, I suppose. But that was snapped off, and the car was quite slow. That's glued on with a bit of araldite and then sealed with some Permatex gasket maker, and that's held up once again probably for about 15,000 k. I would like to replace the liner at some point, but it's all right for now.